Hello, today I'm going to be demoing a brand new feature inside of Bambi, which is the ability to construct invoices for your trips, as well as pay for them directly through the platform. So I'm here on the Invoicing tab, and the first thing I'm going to want to do is to create an invoice. So we'll do that from the top right. Now we'll name the invoice and associate some trips to it. So this is the same trips table that you see on the trips page itself, has the same filter sets, and will show the same information. On the left-hand side, we now have the checkbox, which will allow us to select a trip for the invoice. So I'll select these bottom two, and we can see that they have a trip price of $53 and nearly $2,000 here. On the invoice now, we have both of those trips as line items. So we have the passenger, the date of the trip, where they were going to. If we wanted to modify these items by, say, adding a wait time or adding a discount, we simply edit them and add a sub-item here. So now let's say there was a wait time for this trip, and that wait time amounted to $10. If we wanted to add a discount, we do the same thing. So let's add a discount. We put in the total amount that we want to discount, and then we use the minus symbol to reduce the amount. So now this is minus $1,000. And the total amount due is calculated dynamically on the invoice screen itself here. So we can see that 53 plus 1,985 plus 10 minus 1,000 is equal to $1,048. If we wanted to add any notes for this trip, we can do that here. Trips for the month of Feb, for example. And now we can go ahead and click on Create Invoice itself. Once we create that, the invoice is created inside of the invoice table here. At any time, we can update that, change any of these values associated to it, and we can also pay for it. So if we click on Pay for Invoice here, now we're presented with a payment screen. We can choose the payer, so if the facility was paying for the ride, we could choose them here and access any payment methods which are previously preserved on that payment facility. We could pay either the whole amount as $1,048 or a partial amount. So let's pay a partial amount for this time. Let's pay half of it, $500. So we'll select the payment method which has been saved for this passenger because we've selected self-pay, and then press the confirm button. Now we can see that the payment method was successfully captured. If we open up the invoice again, we're now able to see that that payment amount was captured. We could also refund that payment amount for any reason by clicking on the refund button. Let's click that now. We're presented with an additional dialog to ensure that this is the correct thing we want to do. And if we open up the invoice again, we can now see that the payment was captured on this date, but it was actually refunded. So if we hover over this icon, we can always see that the date the payment was refunded on. Now let's look at a case where the payment wasn't successful. So let's open up this invoice here. We can see that we attempted to make a payment on January 31st for the amount of $25, but the red icon indicates that the payment wasn't successful. The total amount due is still $53, which is the total amount for the trip. If we hover over this icon, we can see that the message that the payment processor sent back to us that the card had insufficient funds. Other ways that you can construct invoices are from the trips page itself. So if we go to the trips page, we can go to the three-dot menu over here and then create an invoice directly. And that constructs a brand new invoice for us using the same model that we were seeing before. In this case, this trip doesn't have any price on it, but we're still able to construct an invoice. Finally, we may want to manage payment methods for a payer. We can do that in two ways. The first way is if we go to the passengers page and we open up the passenger. We now have the ability to modify the payment methods. We can add a new credit card here and then fill out this information. Also, if we go to the payers page, we can modify them there. So let's say Call the Car has a credit card they want to keep on file. On the second screen here, we can add a credit card in the exact same way that we were able to add it for the passenger. Although now it's just associated to this particular biller. So let's add a card here. And then their billing address. And then we'll save. And now if we go back to the invoices page and we attempt to pay with that payer, instead of seeing Nicole's payment information, we will see Call the Cars, and we're able to use that as the billing payment. Thank you.